Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the sixth grade concept of converting units. This is 6.4H Readiness Practice, the Proficient version. If you are interested in exploring the 6.4H Readiness Practice for the intermediate or advanced versions, or the Readiness Practice resource aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we have a snail that travels at 30 centimeters for every 5 minutes, and we need to convert this into meters per hour. Okay, so that's going to be meters per hour, and those are different units for both the numerator and the denominator. Notice that per is kind of giving us, acting as that in, that per that's kind of acting as that division line right there. That's changing this into a fraction or a rate. Let's change this into a unit rate. So if I've got 30 centimeters in 5 minutes, how much would I get if I did centimeters per minute? Well, it's a fraction, right? 30 fifths. And if I divide by fives, what I'm going to get 6 over 1, so I could just make that 6. So this is 6 centimeters per 1 meter. Now I've got or excuse me, 1 minute. Now I've got a unit rate, all right? And so I want to change the minutes into hours. So how many minutes does it take to get into 1 hour? Well, if I multiply by 60, I know there's 60 minutes an hour. So now I've got 360 centimeters in 60 minutes. And guess what? I'm going to rewrite that 60 minutes as 1 hour. So now I've got my unit on the bottom, my denominator, correct? 360 centimeters per 1 hour. I just need to change it into meters, okay? And so let's think of 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So if I want to change to 360, what I can do is I can take my 360 and divide by 100, and that's going to get me that conversion rate. Now, there's a few different ways we can do that. We literally can do long division, or we know that when we divide by 100, what we end up doing is we move the decimal in over twice. If 100 centimeters equals a meter, I've got 3 full meters in there, and then I've got some left over, so it's actually 3.6 or 3.60, but we don't need that last 0. So we can uh, say it like this, 3.6 meters per hour. And so that snail has that rate in meters per hour. Next, we are looking at 5 pounds of potatoes, and we're looking at ounces. All right, so we need to know ounces. There are fluid ounces and there are dry ounces. So when we're dealing with fluid ounces like water, that is 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. We don't need this one. We need the 16 ounces, sometimes called dry ounces, equals the 1 pound. Pound is abbreviated by LB. That's the one we want. All right, so 5 pounds. All right, so 5 pounds. And there's 16 ounces in each of these, so I'm just going to multiply that by 16. 16 in 1 pound, and there's 5 sets of those. All right, so that's going to be 80. All right, so 5 pounds equals 80 ounces. So that's going to be my first question. The recipe makes 80 ounces. If each serving uses 8 ounces, how many servings can the recipe make? Well, I need to take my 80 ounces, divide that by 8 ounces per serving, and that's going to get me 10 servings. Since we're dividing that into 8-ounce chunks, I can get 10 8-ounce chunks out of that. For our third problem, we've got another rate kind of like that snail. We've got 54 km for 3 hours. We need it in meters per minute. All right, so we need to change both. Let's make a unit rate again. I want to know how much it is in 1 hour. Okay, so 54 divided by 3 is going to give me 24, and that is going to give me 8. Okay, so that's even. So I can say 54 km over 3 hours is the same as, uh, if I divide by 3's, simplify it, right? 18 kilometers per 1 hour. All right, so let's, in this case, let's change, it's going to be pretty easy to change our kilometers into meters. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000. Kilo means 1,000 meters. So if I want to change this into meters, I'm just going to take my 18, and inside each of those 18 is 1,000. So that's going to be 18,000. We just multiply by 1,000. So 18 kilometers equals 18,000. Now, let's look at my hours. My hours, and I knew this was coming, that's why I did the numerator first. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. And so that's going to equal 18,000 meters over 60 minutes. I just changed my 1 hour into 60 minutes. I want the meters per minute, which means I need to find the unit rate. So I need to divide 60, may seem large, but you're going to see something pretty simple in there, 18,000. 60 does not go into 18, but 60 does go into 180 perfectly, 3 times. Now, when we have this, we just have to make sure we get enough zeros. So it's going to be 300. So 300 meters for every 1 minute. So 300 meters per minute. If you are interested in exploring the 6.4H Readiness Practice Resource for the intermediate or advanced version, or the Readiness Practice Resource along with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.